Good, man.
Good, good. Thanks very much for being here. I
Thank
brought
you,
you
man.
down. If it's hot, let me know.
Yeah.
Hey, you're here with one of my good friend, uh, Dimitrios. Dimitrios Kentis. With Kentis. I'm sorry, with Kronos Realities here in South Florida. Dimitrios, introduce yourself to our audience. Tell us where are
Uh,
you from? How long you
well,
been in South Florida?
I'm from Greece. I came like 20 years ago with my family here in Miami. Um, my wife is a Greek American. I've been here for 20 years. I do real estate like 13 years. I have my own company, Kronos Reality. And I have my daughter is in a college first year, Brown University.
Very good athletic, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
So that a few days ago, that was on ESPN. First time they were showing her,
Yes,
right?
it was in Harvard University. They had the game,
That's
and it
amazing, man.
was in ESPN. Yes,
That's beautiful.
yeah.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Congrats,
Thank you.
congrats. Um, some of the main, basically the main subject tonight we want to discuss, which is always fascinating to me. It's real estate. Um, since childhood, I have been interested in real estate, and I know specifically, um, you know, um, South Florida, Miami and Fort Lauderdale is always a heaven for migration. No matter where you live, if you live in Los Angeles, if you live in New York or any other part of the world, yeah, you always have an eye here in South Florida to invest in real estate, to buy property here, live here. It's sunshine here, it's beautiful. You got the great nightlife here, great activities right here, especially after um, 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 pandemic, which is majority of a state. Let's say cities that are in competition with Miami, such as Los Angeles, such as New York City. um, Huge migration happened to South Florida, and many people moved here.
Hmm.
So it's been. I'm always interested to learn about real estate and the investment opportunities and the ways. So kind of, I want to dissect that real estate 101,
Okay.
um, basically, and then get in depth to detail
Okay.
as far as the investment in real estate. What do you recommend,
Hmm.
and how our audience can um, reach out to you and get help with the current market here in
Mm.
South Florida. Um, I want to start with this. What makes South Florida such an attractive market for real estate investment?
Yeah. So if you see the couple years, as you mentioned, from the um, pandemic, it was unbelievable what happened here. We had a very low inventory because we had almost 1,000 people moving to Miami, Southeast Florida, and in general in Florida. And we have a very short inventory, and the interest rates was very low. And that it was a seller's market. It was a lines to buy a property when you have a showing, open house, um, and the reason is, the rules that for the pandemic was not too strict here in Florida. So everything was open, but didn't affect too much the restaurant as other states, for example. And Also, Florida is, like sunshine state all year round. Water, we have a lot of nice restaurants. The last years, especially, we have a lot of restaurants. The culinary it's a skyrocket now. We have very good chefs. They coming here and they open nice restaurants in Miami. And it's general the lifestyle. It's more relaxed. You can go every day to the beach, and you feel like you enjoy more the life here especially in South Florida.
So, how have property values and rental prices evolved in past 5 years?
Yeah,
Even
I'm gonna tell you what happened in 2023.
okay.
It's more close because um, that is very interesting numbers. So it was, as I remember, the last time I saw it was the 2023 compared to 2022. The price was 11.8% up for the real estate. The 2024 compared to 2023 was 8.1%. So, and the reason why this happened, we have a little bit decline, is this happening on the market when the price is starting goes very a short period of time started goes up. One period of time it's gonna start decline or starting getting more like, let's say, not like it was like the last 4 or 5 years with the pandemic, as I said, but it's going to be a little bit, cool down. And we have a lot of also factors like the one is the interest rates. The interest rates are very high. So in the pandemic we have 2.8, 3.2. I heard like people they get that interest rates, and now it's a 6-7%.
Wow.
So imagine the monthly payment, how much increase with that interest rate. So it's a buyer's market now. So compared with a pandemic, like 3-4 years ago, it was a seller's market. Now it's a buyer's market.
So let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
This was always my kind of my confusion, and also with respectfully, the phrase that I never liked: buyer's market, seller's market.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that very respectfully, and I want you to correct me, please.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I want to buy a house, before I met you, anytime I want to buy a house, the real estate agent that I work with, showing me the houses, he or she would tell me, no matter where I'm at, if I'm in California, if I'm in South Florida, oh, it's a buyer's market or it's a seller's market. To me, as an outsider, I feel like I'm in the car dealership and someone want to just sell me a car. Oh, this is the best one, buy this one.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could please emphasize on that, is that the right term that agents or individuals that brokers or someone that is in the real estate community that are using for ordinary citizens like myself, term buyers or sellers market, is that the right term to use? And why individuals like myself sometimes we think, are they just trying to sell me something, or just because I list my house to sell, are they just wanna to sell it under price so they get it out of their way? So can you correct me, please?
Yes.
In that phase, am I wrong? Do I have a right point to
No,
make?
that's a good concern, because this is very general, okay, and this is based of the statistics that we have about how the market goes. So if we have a lot of inventory, we have a lot of houses on the market, and stays on the market for more than 2-3 months, that means the opportunity for a buyer is bigger than if we have the opposite situation. So that's why we said it's a buyer's market. So it's a time for you to buy because a lot of opportunities out there. So the seller's market is when there is no inventory and there is a lot of buyers they looking to buy for a property, and you have a multiply offers for your house that you wanted to list. So let's give an example. We have a period in the market like you have your house for 4 months and you haven't received any offer, and we have another period in the market like you have 1 month the property on the market and you have 5 offers, and so that creates the phrase that buyer's market or seller's market. It's nothing else. It's opportunities always exist. I want to tell you that, and every suburb is a different market. So it's a different market. Miami downtown, even with Brickell, Fort Lauderdale. So Sarasota, Fort Myers, Tampa. So in the whole Florida, it's every city, every suburb is a different. Not too much. It's not a big gap, but there is a difference. So our job as brokers is to find the best deal. And if someone wants to list the property, we have to find the right numbers. And it's not only the presentation of the property and as I told you all the time, like here's a bedroom, here's a bathroom, the kitchen. I mean, that doesn't make you broker, you know.
Gotcha. So one of my there are several factors that I always think to myself that create challenges for spending money and investing in real estate properties, which I don't see many people take that to consideration. One of them is the climate change, and we are in the part of country that hurricane season is just expanding. Last year expanded all the way to September. I'm sorry, almost to October. It's just you see the expansion of hurricane season is just getting longer and longer. Does that have any effect in the individuals that they want to buy property? And we're gonna get in depth as far as the future plans for areas such as Brickell that they are building luxurious high rises within the next 20 years that is changing the shape of Brickell and turning to a Manhattan, basically, that area, which is already is. So when you're dealing with your customers, international or local customers, how concerned are they about climate change here in South Florida? Are they concerned? In my opinion, I never seen any concerns. The neighborhood which you helped me, that I found, buy the land and then build the property in that neighborhood. Almost everyone is migrated from Maryland or New York to this neighborhood. I think I'm one of the few local guys that live here. Yeah. I don't see any concern that they move here. So what do you have to say about those individuals that they have the concern about climate change, hurricane seasons, that yes. They say, hey, I don't want to spend my money here?
Yes, well, I understand the concern that some people they have, but we are in the state like we have a hurricane season, okay? So, and if the hurricane season for 1 year came a little bit, hard and longer, that doesn't mean it's going to be forever like that. So you have to see what happened in the last 10 years because you're not going to keep the property just for one season. The other factor that you have to deal with is the insurance, the property insurance, because the insurance is starting getting high, and especially in the older buildings, in Miami, because after we had that collapse
Correct.
of the building in Sunrise, so it, it was like a very difficult situation, and that makes the regulations to be more strict.
Property insurance was always a problem in South Florida.
Yes, always. And the other, I don't want to say the word bad, but the other misleading that happened, it was like they didn't keep money from the HOA fees as a reserve to pretend to prevent any damage in the building, or to have enough money to pass the 40 years inspection, which is very big inspection. And we have a lot of buildings that is over 30 years old in Miami, in South Florida. So that's why you see people, they to don't have that concern, they go in a safe building. And the buildings that they build now, they're very safe. They have more codes to follow than 50, 60 years ago. So, and of course, it's more luxury. It's more the amenities is phenomenal. I mean, it's not even in a hotel you can find that amenities. So that's why I don't feel people they are thinking, or they have a concern about the hurricane season, and all that climate change and all these things. So the only time that they concern is for if they get a single family homes, and they have to pay a lot of insurance closer to the water, or the elevation is lower for the water, so you have to pay more insurance. You have to pay flood insurance, which is another extra insurance.
Correct. So one thing that I have noticed, international investments here in South Florida, many people from different background, different nationalities, they come to South Florida, they buy a property. Now, if it's really they're buying a property, or
Yes.
how does international investment change the shape of real estate in South Florida, and also what are the regulations? So if for someone that is listening, he or she, let's say, is from Greece, from different countries, and they want to buy a property here in South Florida, how Kronos Reality can help them, and what is the regulation? If it's a $1 million, $2 million, $3 million or higher property, what is the federal regulation behind transferring money? How does that works? And then a follow-up. I have a few follow-up questions for
Okay.
that. So I want to focus on that international investment.
Okay, so international investors starting build the economy in real estate in South Florida. We had a lot of people, especially from Canada, and the number one, as I saw the statistics from Miami Association, was Argentinians. A lot of Argentinians, they buy here. So what is the difference? We have international buyers. I put them in two categories. The one is they buy for vacation house, and the other ones they buy for investment. So people they looking to make money, people they looking to have a nice holiday house. Okay, who buys more a holiday house here? Canadians. So the Canadians, they wanted to have a holiday house. The most of them, I'm talking about the percentage, is the highest percentage than other international buyers that they wanted to buy to invest the money in the real estate, and after 2, 3, 4 years sell it and make some profit through the equity.
Is it also easy for them Canadians easier for Canadians compared to other countries to buy property here, or no?
Yes.
Oh, it's okay.
Yes, it's. I mean, we have a lot of Canadians, and it's close, and because of the weather, they wanted to be somewhere like to have to go for swimming, to be like anytime they decide to go for vacation, to have a summer. So that's why Southeast Florida is the number one in Florida, in general in Florida, because there is a lot of Canadians. They buy in Sarasota and St. Petersburg also. So how easy is for someone who's international to buy a property here? It's very easy, but they have to put to buy cash, or there is another option. Some lenders, what they do, they asking 30-40% down, and the rest of the money, if you show the good source of income from your country, then they can finance the rest of the value of the house.
So how does the source of income from your country works? If you can break down that one.
Well, I don't know exactly, because the realtors, they can't, by the law, they can't be involved with financials. But we can inform that, okay, there is some options, but you have to contact a mortgage broker to give you more information. But what I know, sometimes they asking 30%, 40% down, and then the 60%, 70% they lend you money from here, from United States, and it's very easy to understand. Someone, they put a lien to the property, so if you don't pay, they get they get the house.
Gotcha.
They put foreclosure, or you can make short sale, whatever.
So while we are on that subject, if somebody, let's say in this case, a Canadian, right? I want to invest in property here in South Florida, and whether it's by vacation or rental or something like that, is there a regulation opportunity for that individual to become a legal resident in the United States?
Well, it was a project in Miami, and they give the EB-5 visa. If you buy a property like $500,000 more, that it was like 3-4 years ago. I'm not sure. I don't know if there is something similar right now. The last time I called a few months ago for a client, they don't have any project like that. But to buy real estate in United States and to get the visa is not possible. So some people, they believe that, I'm going to buy a property for $5 million and I'm going to get a visa. No, they don't give you a visa.
So that option doesn't exist.
No, the option is if you buy a business, or if you buy something like construction, commercial, and they have at least 8, as I remember, 8-10 people that they work, and that it has to be for a couple of years. So that for that reason, someone has to contact real estate lawyer. So the real estate lawyer is gonna guide you better and gives you more options. Then the lawyer is going to inform the broker,
Correct.
the real estate broker, and says, okay, he decided to do this, and then the broker is starting looking for something to get to the needs,
of the customer,
to meet the needs of the customer. Yeah.
Perfect. So so I was, it was always, I had this understanding that majority of, because originally when I moved to Miami, I was living in I bought a luxury condo, and most of my neighbors were foreigners from Venezuela, from different countries, that they had huge amount of money, and they brought the money here and they bought it. So the question that I have, I do understand that United States federal government have the regulation, how much cash you can transfer to United
Hmm.
States. So let's say if you have a customer and he or she wants to buy a unit here in South Florida that, let's say, costs $2 million, how they can legally make that transaction happen?
Okay, we have the title company, the
Mhm.
title agent, who's going to be the closing agent.
Mhm.
They know the regulations,
Mhm.
so they guide you how you're going to do it and how much you can transfer, and they check where that money is coming from. It's a different, and also it depends about from the country. Okay, so some
Correct.
countries they have more restrictions than other countries.
Mhm.
For me, I can say to, and I know some realtors they do, but this is very dangerous.
That's some other subject I also
Yeah,
want to get involved about, ethic code of realtors. So I would like you to break that down for
yeah.
me, please. Uh, that's something that I was always interested. Is there ethic code exist? And if yes, uh, what are the most specific ethic codes in in realtor books, correct? And if you break those codes, how do you get into trouble?
Yes. So if you break the codes, they can suspend your license. You can lose your license. The code of ethics is very serious, and most of the brokers they getting very light, and you gotta be careful what you say, what you do, what you recommend. As I said from the beginning, we are real estate brokers. We are not lawyers, and we are not accountants. So we have to give directions to our clients about what is their needs and how we're gonna satisfy that needs in real estate. Nothing has to do with the law, and something is out of real estate, because then you not violate the code of ethics. You violate a lot of rules and regulations, and about the code of ethics. Um, I have hundreds of examples to tell you things that happen to not too often to me, but I had a lot of stories because remember I was in Remax,
Yep.
I was a marketing
Yep.
director, and we had like over 60 agents over there, and I saw every day
Something was happening.
something will happen, yeah, and it was
Yeah.
unethical, yeah.
So, you know, um, Miami and Fort Lauderdale is very famous for its, luxury lifestyle. Whether it's a single family home or condominiums. Uh, Especially with the new project that is happening in Brickell. You got luxury buildings, companies such as Mercedes and Dolce Gabbana bringing their luxurious buildings here, or Faena is that crazy uh, luxury building that within next few years they're gonna start building.
Yeah.
How that market affecting the investment here in South Florida? I have a feeling that with all these high-end properties that is currently involving and building, um, is reshaping kind of the market to Dubai. That is just certain class of people can buy properties here. Correct me if I'm wrong, because with these luxurious companies, with these heavyweight companies that are reshaping, let's say whether it's Sunny Isle or Brickell, with these huge projects, is changing the housing prices as well. So basically, how does the high-end market compare to more affordable housing investment? Is it going to have direct impact on affordable housing, or ordinary citizens shouldn't be worried about this kind of project that is happening in South Florida within the next or 10, 20 years?
Well, as you mentioned, like we have a lot of brands. They are coming and put the signature. Doesn't mean Dolce Gabbana. The Dolce Gabbana is going to build the building as a developer, and they have the signature of Dolce Gabbana, and they had some cosmetics and a couple of things that is Dolce Gabbana or Fendi, or there is another project in Brickell that they have a Fendi. I mean, it's a bunch of projects. They put the big brands, you know. So why they try to do that? That is a question, right? Everybody, why now the last 5 years we have a Bentley, we have Porsche, we have Mercedes, we have Aston Martin, we have Fendi, we have Dolce Gabbana, we have Diesel, we have, you know, all these brands. It's because of the competition. So that competition create the luxury lifestyle in Miami and in general in South Florida, Southeast actually. So is that good or bad? If you see as a person who likes to be in a city that is more luxury, yes, it's good. Because what that project is going to bring? It's going to bring people with a lot of money. They're willing to buy expensive properties, and that is going to create a boosting for the market. Not only real estate market, clothes. Remember, like 10, 12 years ago, the design district, it was like nothing. And if you go now, all the big brands is over there. Why? If we had the buildings like it was 30, 40, 50 years old, and we never had all these brands coming and put the signature in the buildings and make like the building looks luxury and expensive, I don't think we will have all these brands and build a small neighborhood like the design district. So, and another good example is Wynwood. So Wynwood, everybody, I had a very big disagreements with my clients because they said, "Oh, Wynwood is what is a ghetto over there?" I said, "No, it's not a ghetto. It's more artistic." But when is a neighborhood convert from a bad neighborhood to a good neighborhood, and then from good neighborhood goes to luxury or very artistic, it's going to be very hard to visualize this, you know. Only if you love real estate and you see with a point of view as an investor, you're gonna understand. So in general, the way how they build Miami now, it's Miami is getting very hot. Okay, but on the other hand, we have a lot of inventory, a lot of projects at the same time. So for this, I'm not gonna say what is gonna happen in the future. I'm not allowed to say that, but it's going to be a big challenge for Miami because we have a lot of inventory, you know. So, and the developers, they have a lot of units available. But yes, I mean, I don't know if I answered your question, but
Yes, you. you partially did that. My um, so I guess I want to kind of focus on the what if Feds they drop the interest rates. I think current people that they live in South Florida that they have the flexibility of financial statement, they are going to buy more properties. And you have outsiders that are thinking to buy properties, and then interest rates gonna go high. This has been this history all the time, fluctuation of interest rates. And God forbid if we have another pandemic and the cost of building goes high, because those projects that are currently in the, one time we went to a meeting, you were showing me a project in Brickell, and we saw the image of what will happen within the next 30 years in Brickell. It's like,
Yeah,
damn, it's like
it's unbelievable,
it's
right?
unbelievable,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be direct competitor of to Manhattan as far as the high rises, right?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of my concern is, and also, I take, I have personally I have conservative standpoints, but I do believe in global warming. I think, I mean, when it rains here, I see what's happening, and I want to know. I kind of have a concern, which I don't think anybody has an answer for it, especially with areas such as Brickell or Sunny Isle. When the rain happens and all those buildings, what they're gonna do there, right?
Yeah.
Also, insurance. As you mentioned at the beginning of our conversation, homeowners insurance is another challenge, which it brings me to think about only individuals that they can afford to invest in the real estate market in South Florida. That's, if be the high homeowner insurance and the current luxurious projects that is going on in South Florida. I don't think necessarily there's many regulations that is stopping people from what they want to do in South Florida, because it's a very open market, free market. The only speed, I don't want to call it a speed bump, but the only regulation that I see within past 2 years implemented, it's been during spring break in South Beach. It's just last year and this year especially, but it's been very free as far as letting individuals to practice their freedom here in South Florida. That's actually my next, takes me to my next concern, that how might economic shifts, interest rates, and migration affect the investment in South Florida. As a real estate agent, do you always have concern that the decision that local or federal government make as far as interest rates, as far as supplies, that can have effect on your productivity?
Mm-hmm. Of course, there is a big effect sometimes. I mean, it's a couple of things that people they don't understand, and especially investors. I like to work with smart, intelligent people that when you analyze things, they understand. Okay, so when you analyze all this, that makes me more happy to explain to you about all your concerns and guide you to the right decision if it's a good time to buy or not. Right? Now, here is the thing. As a broker, I believe to buy real estate always is a good time. Anytime you buy real estate, always is a good time. But you have to see in which market. You have to see which area. You have to see all the comparables. You have to see the value of the house. You have to have good inspection. You have to have a good analysis, and if it's a good investment property, you need to have a formula to explain to your client all the expenses. For example, I say like something which is very, very easy to understand, the vacancy loss. So someone says, oh, okay, I'm going to rent it. How much? $4,000 per month. Okay, so 4,000 multiplied 12, it's going to be 48,000. It's not 48,000. You have to see, to subtract from these the vacancy loss, which means when someone moves, is going to move out, you have to fix the house if they didn't fix, and then you need to have time to have the other person to move in. Sometimes you can do immediately, sometimes not, but you gotta see that percentage, how much it is. I give you one example, and I give you one parameters from 10, 20. Okay, so that little details count to make your decision. How much is the insurance? Is that we have a flood insurance? We have how much you pay now? And sometimes this happen. You pay that insurance to your house because you have the 10 years the same insurance, but when you get the house, the insurance is higher. Okay, so and it's a lot of things that you gotta think, but always is a good time to buy real estate, because give me a date that it was very, very bad, the economy. 2006, 2007, okay. And you buy a property for 500,000. How much is worth it now? Right? So, I mean, always is a good time to buy real estate, but you have to understand that real estate, it's not a stock market. You can't buy real estate and waiting after 1 year to make money. You have to wait. You have to give sometimes for the market to recover and starting in the prices increase, because right now, for example, you said the interest rates are very high. What about if the interest rate after 1 year is happened in COVID? We have 3% instead of 7-6%. What is going to happen in the market?
It's going to be a mad rush.
Yeah, so you buy a house now for $500,000, and then imagine how much it will be after 1 year when everybody looking to buy a house.
Correct. I like the term that you use. It's always a good time. This is how basically. When I was a little boy, I was explaining, always save your money, buy a house. And I see people around me doing that, my family member, my mother, things like that. So now that I see the effect, my mother, like parents, family members did that to lift that for their children. And I really respect that, that's the way kind of I grew up in my culture about that.
And for this, sorry I interrupt you. I
Please.
wanted to give you an example. I remember something happened to me. So I have a very good friend. It was before the COVID. The interest rate was 4.8, 4.75. the minimum. Very good rate. And he said to me, Dimitri, I wanted to buy a property, but what do you think? Because, I'm thinking, I don't know. I said, how much you pay for the rent? He said, this money. I said, well, with this money, you're going to buy this house, and instead to pay someone else mortgage, you're going to pay your mortgage, and it's going to be your house. He said to me, okay, let's do that. The next day, he came to me, and he said, you know what, I'm not going to buy any house. I said, why you change your mind in a night? He said, well, I met a friend, and he told me it's not a good time to buy because it was the pandemic was just starting. It was like we didn't have closing restaurants and all the business. It was in the beginning. So I say to him, listen, don't trust people that they don't do real estate. He said to me, well, he's a billionaire and he has that yacht and he has a lot of money. I said, that doesn't mean anything. And I get tired, and I believe you're going to agree with me. People that they have a lot of money, that doesn't mean they're very smarter than you, or they are very smart, or they have a big knowledge for everything. Okay, they have knowledge for how they're gonna make money for that particular thing. They make money. They are not experts for everything. Okay, so I told him like, and I had that feeling it's going to be an opportunity, and say to your friend that it's better to don't try to make you feel like that, to don't buy a house. So anyways, after 1 year the interest rate was 3%. And then it was not any opportunity to buy because the inventory was so short, and people, they put the house for 400,000 and they end up with an offer for 450, 460, 470. And guess what? It was a lot of cash buyers. It was a lot of buyers with a big down payment. So, and my client, he had just 10%, 10, 20%. So, and he lost the opportunity and still struggled to buy a house. He missed the train. So, in other words, what I wanted to say is, don't listen everyone. Just listen. If you go in a court, you're going to get your friend because a billionaire to come represent you, or you're going to get a good lawyer who is successful and knows what he's doing, right? It's the same for everything. Doesn't it looks and they make to look the real estate job very easy because they give like to everyone the real estate license. We had 20,000 when I started was 20,000 realtors, and now it's over 60,000. I think it's close to 70,000 realtors. So try to find someone who has the knowledge. Try to have a broker who has the knowledge, and he's gonna guide you. And if you have successful with him, continue with him, because I know also some, and I feel sorry about that brokers. They losing their clients because there is another brokers, they try to steal that clients from them, okay, with a way that, oh, he doesn't know what to say, and no, this is wrong, I have right, and listen to me, and they have the way. They're very good for that. I can give them a credit, but also they do a lot of things that violated the code of ethics. Yes,
Yeah. Which
absolutely.
I'm completely, it disgusts me when people do that. I
It's unbelievable.
kind of wanna focus on the regulation and how the real estate how the realtors operate. Um, what's the difference between an agent and a broker?
Yes, the agent is it's a sales associate. So you get your license from state, and then you have to work under a broker. So if something happen, is the broker, is not the sales associate. And then after many years, you have to give another exams, you get another courses, and then you become a broker. So the broker can work under a broker or can do his own company like I did.
So you have your own company, you're an agent and a broker. So let's say I'm a young agent. I just got my license.
Yes.
Then I have to, for 2 years, to work under a broker.
3.
Correct? 3 years.
Yes.
And after that, I can become independent, correct?
Yes, but you have to pass the again. You have to pass a test, and you have.
That test is a broker test or again agent test?
No, it's a broker test.
It's a broker
Yeah.
test. So after 3 years, I have to become a broker in order for me to become individual.
Yes, yes. You don't have to, but you can be an agent for decades.
But I have to be under a broker.
Yeah, yes. But if you take the broker's license, then you can open your office, or you can be under another broker. Doesn't matter. You have just the title of broker. That is like more upgrade, let's say.
Correct. And then as far as I use your agency, since you're agent and broker and the owner and operator of your agency, based on the Florida law and the license that you have, you only can operate in Florida, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a customer from Washington D.C., you cannot go on their behalf to act as an agent or broker, right?
Yes, I can go in Washington D.C. and sell a property. I cannot.
You cannot do that.
Yes,
right?
only Florida.
Okay, only in Florida. For the individual states, you gotta have the license from those states.
Yes,
correct? Okay.
yes.
And then, what advice? This is actually a good friend of mine. He told me to ask you this question.
Okay.
What advice do you have for someone in the current market in 2024?
25.
Are we file? Man. 2025. That someone, as you know very well, especially in South Florida, 9 out of 10 people, they have real estate license. But it doesn't mean 9 out of 10 people are successful. You know, I have met few successful agents and brokers, and I have met people that they just do that as a side job to have income, you know, and I respect that, you know. But that doesn't mean you're always going to be successful. So what advice do you have for someone that he or she thinking about getting their real estate agent license here in South Florida? What do you have to tell them?
To give them an advice?
Yeah.
Well, everything, it depends of what they're looking for. They looking for a career like 24/7 to work for? Yes. So first of all, I wanted to tell you this. In the whole nation, we are 1.2 something million agents, based of the 2023, 2024, as I remember. And almost 900,000 agents, they made up to 1 transaction per year. So that means 0 or 1. Okay, so only the 20% they are productive and they do more than 1 transaction per year. Imagine that. Okay, so but that it makes harder the real estate job as a job, because when you have a client and this client is surrounding from another 10 agents that they call him and they try to prove that the agent that he has is wrong, okay, that makes your job tougher. Okay, so you got to create your brand, and your brand is you. You gotta create a confidence and trust. So people, they have to trust you. Uh, Always say the truth. Don't lie and don't hide the truth. You gotta say the facts. You gotta say everything for what's going on the market, and you gotta be careful yourself. You have to be every day. You gotta be a better broker. The competition is right there. Bunch of real estate agent is going to be surround to you and surround to your clients. So be patient and focus to what you're doing, and that's the knowledge of the market is going to make you successful. But here is a couple other things. For anything you do in your life, you need to have a talent. If you wanted to be a real estate broker, you need to be a good salesperson. If you're not a good salesperson, don't do the job. If you don't have a good negotiational skills, don't do this job. It's not for you. Because here is the thing. From the time that the TV shows in LA $1 million listing in New York, from that time that shows appears on TV, all people, they wanted to be real estate agents because they think that, okay, I'm gonna have a nice car, my suit, my Louis Vuitton, my Fendi, Dolce Gabbana. I'm going to a party, and I'm gonna make a open house, nice events, and I'm gonna meet people. It's not like that. This is a TV show. Okay, so the reality, it's totally different. So if you don't have sales and negotiation skills, don't do it. That's the most important. The other thing is the connections. So you need to be socialized. If you don't have connections, so you have to find a way to create. It's not only Instagram, show your face and show some projects and be successful. It's not gonna happen like that. I mean, it happens, believe it or not, but it's one every 100,000 agents, So, and I'm not going to tell that typical things that everybody says, trust yourself and believe to yourself. I don't like this. I like to see yourself about your skills, and if you don't have the skills, try to create that skills. And during that time you will find out if you like or not the real estate, because as I said, everybody believe to a bubble. They're gonna be in the bubble, and everything's gonna be nice and beautiful. It's not like that.
Oh, okay. Thanks very much for your advice. I really appreciate that. As someone that every day you are I follow you, and I would like to share those information with our listeners. Every day you're in some sort of new project. I see some of the stories that you post on your social media, crazy, beautiful, luxurious projects. For some of our listeners and some of my friends that are overseas, or they're thinking about investing and buying luxury properties here in South Florida, there are certain areas that attract people. You have Brickles for the city lifestyle. You got the beach area, which I love very much. All the way from South Beach, you come here to Fort Lauderdale Beach, you have Venetian, and so on. As someone that lived here much longer than me, been in the streets, know every project, knows the pros and cons of the neighborhoods. For someone that listens to you, he or she, they want to bring their money here, what do you recommend to them as far as the areas, what areas with the current projects, and what is your advice?
Yes, well, it depends of many things. I mean, we have to create a scenario, because we can have someone who wants to flip properties and sell it immediately, someone who wants to buy a complex and rebuild and rent it. Someone wants to have like a luxury property and rent it for a month or 3 months. Maybe someone wants to have for daily rent, like Airbnb. And maybe someone wants to have it as an investment plus vacation house. So it depends of what of these you want. Then I can guide you to which area you're gonna go, which area is better. That's why I said it's like you go to a dealership, right? And I'm a salesperson. I have to find out. I mean, not in dealership, any product, right? I have to find out what is your needs. What do you need? Maybe you don't know what you need. It happens. Okay. So if you don't know what you need, if you know what you need, it's easy. I know. Okay, you want that. Okay, we're gonna do it. But if you don't know, and you ask in general, oh, I want to invest, but I don't know. I mean, which area is good? I can guide you based of your budget and based of the period of time you want to have the return of your investment and to make a profit. Or and again, we can say, you know what, you're gonna get this house, and after 3 years, from 1 million you bought, you're gonna make 3 millions. We can say we can say that. And if someone say that to you, just be aware. Okay. It was, and I give you an example. It was like 12 years ago. 12 or 10 years ago, I was in Visgain. Over there in downtown Miami, not Brickell, downtown Miami, they start building new buildings. So I went over there with my clients, and the agent of the developer, he's starting to say, well, here, the next 5 years is going to be better than Manhattan. And I say to him, listen, it's not nice to say that to my clients and to give a fake hope. Okay? But you said before that it's turning like in Manhattan, but after how long? You know? So that's why we can say, well, in 2 years or 3 years you're gonna make money. The only thing I can tell you is you're gonna make money, because since 1975 until now, the return for the investment in real estate, it's almost 6% per year. Some it was minus, some it was 10%, sometimes was like 1%, but the average is almost 6%, 5.80 something. So that's why I wanted to tell you that if you are overseas, you don't know the market here, you have to stick with a broker that knows the market and guide you and give you some options and create your needs. You're gonna say after a couple of options, you will see, you're gonna say, you know what, Dimitri, I think I'm gonna need this because I like the area more. Remember, some people, they don't like Brickell. Some people, they like more Fort Lauderdale. Why? Because it's more relaxed. They can go with a flip-flop, on the beach, a walking distance. In Brickell, you have to. It's more luxury, like wearing expensive clothes. Go to expensive restaurants, nightclubs. So that's why I said every person, it's different, and our job is to find out what is going to make more confidence for him to buy, and what is going to make more profit in the future. but we can't give exact the numbers,
Correct. Well, I do believe uh, sales is an art, and not everyone is a good salesperson. I truly believe in that. When I was freshman in college, I have tried, just like many freshman people in college. I was, in the summer, I was selling security systems, right? I was famous as someone that is good selling security systems to Asian as households. I don't know why, but I was good at that. Sales is an art. Not everyone is a good salesperson, and I really appreciated that you emphasize on that and telling buyers uh, who basically they're working with, what they have to look for. Um, if you could please share your information where our audience and listeners can find you. I will also post that on our podcast as well. How they can reach you on social media.
Social media have with my name the Facebook, which is not coming very popular anymore, right? But still is there. And I have the Instagram and I have the LinkedIn.
Instagram is Kronos.
Kronos Miami Real Estate.
Okay.
And LinkedIn, which is huge.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is huge for me. I have.
I make sure I post those on our podcast.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I have a. It's my strongest.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
man.
the LinkedIn.
Now, if someone from United States needs your assistance to buy a property in Mykonos, would you be able to help them with that?
Well, I just get in Kalamata, in Peloponnesus, in Costa Navarino. There's a big hotel.
It's an amazing resort.
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo was there last. I think two summers before.
It's my brother. It's one of my brother's favorite resort.
And I can say I have someone over there who's asking for 4.2 million, a huge lot in front of the beach.
Wow,
very nice. So, I have yes, in Mykonos, of course.
So you don't have any restrictions to help individuals to.
Well, still I'm in the process because do you know what? I have also another one in Chalkidiki, like for 1.2 million, close to the beach, and all that. They have a permit. You can build a hotel. You can build a, and it's a hot market over there.
By the way, I have heard that real estate is crazy booming in Greece. Very. Some of the prices there are, I mean. But I'm comparing is more than prices here in South Florida. It's crazy.
Yeah. The last time I had a very famous architect that is famous not only in Greece but in Dubai also, and he called me to find someone for $25 million that is not a listing. It's like very private. But yes, that's why I was there in the summer for 2 times in Mykonos, 2 times in Kalamata, 2 times in Chalkidiki. I went everywhere 2 times, one in the low season, 1 time in the high season. I wanted to compare and to see a couple of things. But yes, in the near future, I'm going to do definitely something over there. I'm thinking maybe to open an office.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, I trust Dimitrios very much. He helped me with my real estate needs here in South Florida, and I will share his information online. He's available all the time. Please reach out to him. Your honesty, your kindness is something that I absolutely enjoy. Anytime I look for the property, I want to buy property, and that is very important. You're very humble, and I respect that very, very, very much. And it's hard to find in the
Thank
current
you.
environment. I have seen assholes, real estate agent. I have seen real estate agent that you go for the showing, you look at them, you are scared to ask question.
Yeah.
You're like, oh Jesus, shall I just buy this one right now? You know,
Yeah.
I have a question, and the way they respond to you, but um, you know me very much. I ask very questions, and
Yes.
I have a temper. You know that
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
So anytime we go for the
But
showing, you answer every question. At the middle of night, question pops out in my mind. I text you, hey, I have a question about this unit that we saw, and you are always available. And I highly, highly recommend my friends, individuals that are listening to this podcast. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to, even if you don't want to buy or invest in the real estate, reach out to Dimitrios. I will put the information in his Instagram account, or his agency Instagram account, and also his LinkedIn. He's there, and he will answer all of the questions that you have.
I appreciate
Anytime,
that.
my friend.
I
Thanks
appreciate
everyone
it.
for listening. Have a good night. Take
Have a
care,
good
Dimitri.
night.
Bye,
Take
everyone.
care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.